Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. I thought today that I would make a little bit of an instructional video. I'm out here in my javelin tying up some baits, and I've been using this app. I've been using FishBrain lately. It's this cool app where you can post your fish, your baits, whatever, and it tells you where you caught them. You know, you can just map it out, tell you what baits you used. But people comment on my page a lot on FishBrain about my bass at Beach Lake, saying that they fished there some, they haven't really been able to catch them, or people even just text me on there and ask me how to catch fish at Beach Lake. So I thought I'd just make a video for all of y'all. I don't really know who this is going to affect. Maybe like 10 people actually watch this. But anyway, it'll be cool. So I'm just going to go through some baits, different ways to fish. I might even give y'all some of my spots. So first bait, I got 1 1/6 ounce head, I got 1 1/10 ounce heads. I prefer the 10th if I can use them. This is the best color. This color right here, it's just a Bass Pro Tournament Series Stickos. These are cheaper than Z-Man stuff. They tear up easily, but the bass seem to like them almost better. I would fish with these. I like Z-Man stuff. I have Z-Mans tied on actually right here, this little orange thing, but because right now I'm using a little bit of orange, but it does not really matter, honestly. Just if you got green, they like this color, and they're just another Bass Pro color. If you go to Bass Pro, there's like a green pumpkin flake, I think it is. Or if you just go to Walmart, grab your pack of Z-Mans. They work great. Everything works as long as it's green. At night, still fishing with a Ned rig, get Z-Man PB&J Ned TRDs. I would use those. Also, Z-Man has a great bait. I don't know what it's called, but it's just a little bit longer than the TRDs. It's about that long. That's great to put on shaky heads. So now, moving into my next bait that I fish with is a shaky head. So, shaky head, I don't know if y'all know what a shaky head is or not. This is a shaky head right here. This little bait. So it's basically just an oversized Ned rig. It's heavier. You can fish it out in deeper water, and you're going to get good opportunities for catching bigger fish on this. All right, this is the best color right here. For right now, it's springtime, it's April. This is what I've been catching all my fish on. These right here on a shaky head, what color is this? These are Gary Yamamoto. It doesn't really say what color it is, does it? It just says 5-inch Cinco. Anyway, if you have orange Cincos, also these bass at Beach Lake, they love right here, this color. This red and black right here. This is a perfect bait to put on that shaky head. They really like that. But also in the summertime, I like to fish with this black and blue. Basically, just experiment with your colors. They seem to like darker colors at Beach Lake. So there's your second bait, your shaky head with the Cinco, 5 or 6 inch. If you're not getting bites on the shaky head, downsize to a Ned rig. I would say start with a Ned rig first. If you're getting a lot of bites and catching little fish, upsize to a shaky head and try to catch big fish. Now, I've caught 5-pounders. I'll put a picture of one up right now that I caught on a Ned rig. That is a big bass on a Ned rig. Caught him on a big drop, so on drop off. But he was on a Ned rig, not a shaky head. So next bait we're gonna move into. Everything I fish at Beach Lake is some kind of a plastic stick worm. So I fish basically all those same colors. This thing right here, this orange color, or potentially this is for a wacky rig. I figure y'all know what a wacky rig is, but I'll explain anyway. So a wacky rig is just taking these little worms right here, putting a hook right through the middle of them. That's perfect. I would suggest if you're using actual Gary Yamamoto's, buy you some little bitty rubber bands, there's little black rubber bands that you can hook through. It'll make your worms last a lot longer. I mean, like heck, I went fishing yesterday. I went through a whole pack of them. That's $5. It's like, if you're worried about it, just use it. If you're not, if you got a sponsorship or something, find out. Just hook them through the middle. One way to make them last longer is if every time you catch a fish on your worm, take your hook out, hook it in a different place. So that'll make it last longer, because these Gary Yamamoto Cincos have the best action, but they are really flexible. That's part of their action. Take that Cinco, you just want to cast it up, let it fall real slow. Try not to jig it until it hits the bottom, and then jig it up and let it fall. And jig it up and let it fall. That bait is making all of its own action. You don't have to do anything for it. Now that you got your 3 baits, notice I didn't add any moving baits in that, because I personally don't think you need them. I do not think you need any moving baits at Beach Lake unless You're out there early in the morning and you can throw a top water. But honestly, I would just work on Ned rigs, shaky heads, and your wacky rig. Go up to those lily pads up at the far end of the lake. I'll put up a picture of that. Those lily pads up at the far end. Cast that wacky worm down the side of it and pull it. That's a place that it would be okay maybe to use a swim bait, but that's a little bit. You just need to focus on catching fish. So throw that wacky rig up there. Then next bait on how to fish this bait. The shaky heads and netters are going to be the same place. At Beach Lake, you can catch little fish all you want all day on the Ned rig. But once you start catching them, like I said, bump it up to a shaky head. But places to catch them, you want to fish on points. So think about. I like to think, if I'm swimming down, how deep do I have to swim before I get to where it's getting a little bit dark? That's where these fish are going to sit. So basically 5 to 10 foot deep for the summer, maybe deeper than 10, but no deeper than 15 foot for these fish. Even in the summer, I don't think they're going to be deeper than 15 foot. Now, this is different than a river where they can be out there in 40 foot of water. There are some largemouth and some smaller spotted bass. So if you're catching these little spots, don't mess with it. You're looking for big largemouth. Basically, look around. I use my depth finder at Beach Lake. When I was first getting out there, use your depth finder. Figure out which points are the longest. Is really where I catch fish at Beach Lake. Points that go way out in the water. I get on it. I fish those shaky heads all the way off it. Do not get too close to the point. You want to start out and work your way in. Also, if you do have some points that are big drop-offs, straight drops, or just really steep drops, in the summer is great. Those are good. Bass, what the heck? From what I've seen, bass really like to be as close to the bank, but also as deep as they can. They want to be deep, but then be able to come up shallow really fast and eat. So just fish on these points, work your way out. Basically, every single point at Beach Lake probably has a fish over 30 pounds on it. There's not many points that don't have a fish. You just got to get him at the right time. And then some points are going to be loaded with bass. You just got to catch them once again at the right time when they're feeding. Don't get discouraged if you fish a point and don't catch a fish. Move to the next one. Don't waste a crap ton of time. Fish each point for maybe 15 minutes and then move. Then keep going. Keep fishing. So if you go to Black Bottom Creek. Black Bottom Creek is the creek when you're looking down the lake from the dam on the left side of it. Wait, no, that's going to be reversed for y'all. On the left side of it. That is where on that, I can't even talk. Back there is a great spot for right now, not really in the summer necessarily, but going back up in that and fishing on those points on the left side, even on the right side. But fishing around the mouth of that and those first couple points on the left side are great for summertime. Left side. Our left side are great for the summertime. Once again, hit them with them shaky heads, Ned rigs. Get out there and you got to find them. I kind of like using Ned rigs as a search bait to see if there's fish there. Now my dad, he just bombs shaky heads in, so it's kind of good. We're in the boat together. I can fish those shaky heads. Even if they're a little finicky, they're always going to eat that Ned rig while he's fishing the shaky head. You just got to figure out what they want. Up at the front of the lake, there's 2 shallow water markers. You'll see them when you put in at the boat ramp. They're across the lake. There's an island there. It's an underwater island, so it's really shallow, way out in the water. I love fishing around that when Ned rigs and shaky heads. That's a great place to catch bass. Just fish all of your points, starting deep, working shallow. And this is kind of weird, but points with duck blinds tend to have fish. There's like 4 or 5 points with duck blinds. I fish on basically every point that has a duck blind, because most of those duck blind points go way out in the water. The point goes way out in the water. There's a little spot that not a ton of people know about. If you go way up to the far end of the lake, right in front of the campgrounds, there's a really good spot out there. There's a hump out there in the water, but just kind of fish around that a little bit. Anyway, y'all, that was I gave you a little tip there. That was a little bit of some inside knowledge. Not a ton of just new anglers coming to the lake know about that. That's kind of an inside thing. Not really, but it's kind of a good thing to know. But anyway, recap that. Ned rigs, shaky heads, fish them on the points, deep, go shallow. Figure out where your fish are. Once you figure out where the fish are, use your depth finder and stay on the depth that you're trying to fish. I like to stay about 5 foot depth away if it's like a long focal point. But just stay a good distance away from the depth you're catching fish at. Cast to it, catch them. That's when you're going to use your shaky heads and your Ned rigs. If you're finding fish a little shallower or you want to fish your Ned rigs, use your those same Senkos that you're fishing on your Ned rigs and your shaky head and wacky rig them. Or if you're fishing through the lily pads up there, feel free to hook it like a Texas rig all the way through. When you're fishing on that wacky rig, you can use a brown or a shad color. It's okay. Like this shad color right here is great for fishing on a wacky rig. But shaky head, I would use red and black or orange and brown. It's all good, really. Just think of fish. Think of what would be on the bottom. You know, I don't really know what the red relates to necessarily, except just a little lizard or something that they're thinking of. That orange is definitely kind of a crawdad imitation color. But these fish at Beach Lake, ultimately these fish are they're kind of lazy. So I have trouble catching them on crankbaits, but I love using these finesse baits. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching. I hope y'all can use those tips to catch some fish. Make sure to follow me on FishBrain, Elijah Miller Fishing, no spaces, just Elijah Miller Fishing, all lowercase, no spaces. Hit me up on Instagram, Miller Fishing. I think it's Miller_fishing. Yep. And make sure you tag me in your pictures if you use what I say and catch fish, because I really want to see it. That makes me happy. I don't know how many people can use this video, but if you're watching it, this is just for you. You are you're learning straight from the guy who kind of knows how to fish. But anyway, hope y'all can use this. If you like that, if that helped you, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, turn that notification bell on so you don't miss any of my posts. Thank you for watching.